let's check out Logansport, Indiana. A bunch of you guys have sent me this as a storyline. Apparently, Logansport has had 35% increase in its population, mainly due to illegals coming in, and they're working at the local plants. Let's get into it. Let's see what Logansport, Indiana officials are saying about all this.
To Logansport, causing some government officials there to speak out, saying the current growth is not sustainable.
Fox 59's Angela Gannot joins us this morning. And you've been working on this story for 6 weeks.
So, Lindy, a special investigation here, 6 weeks in the making. It started with a viewer asking me if I could get answers to questions that she had, and then multiple people responded as well. When it comes to the thousands of migrants who have moved to Logansport, from medical care to education and housing, is there a strain on local services, and what is the plan to handle it? Logansport, Indiana, a rural city 78 miles north of Indianapolis, known for its diverse urban population of 18,000. People from at least 28 countries now call Logansport home, with at least 27 languages spoken.
Each week.
Each week. Okay, you did not say that.
Yeah, each week. So last week they had, my final count that I knew of, they had 16 newcomers.
That week.
Then a lot of them are coming unaccompanied.
A startling report from the Cass County Health Department administrator during a September county commissioner meeting. Serenity Alter sits in meetings with new children enrolled in Logansport schools. She listens to them describe their journey to the city.
Most of them fly from Haiti to Nicaragua to Mexico, and then to whatever state they're flying to. A lot of them, like we met a couple last week that hadn't seen their parents in about 7 years. It's a eye-opener.
The overall growth of school enrollment jumped by nearly 150 kids in 3 years. This year, there are 207 Haitian students in Logansport schools, up from 14 in 2021. They also have new students from 11 other countries, including Guatemala, Cuba, Honduras, and El Salvador. No one from the health department wanted to do an on-camera interview with us, but they told me the language barrier is a big challenge.
I don't think our school system can contain that many and can sustain what they're doing right now.
The school district is more optimistic.
We can handle it, and we're a public school, and so we take everybody that comes in the door and meets them where they are, no matter what.
Michelle Starkey graduated from Logansport.
The problem is if you just keep taking them on, like so many of these, Democrats want to do. They want to solve the problems of the entire world. There's a finite limit of resources, right? I mean, just period. Logansport, Indiana is a non-sanctuary state. They've got a Republican governor, but you've got, folks that are in various governmental agencies. They're like, bring them in. That's great. We're just going to take everybody. You can't take everybody from the world coming in. You just can't. Take care of your own first. When you get that squared away, then look around, right?
A school and has worked for the school for decades. She says embracing immigrants is what they do. But she acknowledges many of these migrant students are being asked to bear a heavy load.
While it might be startling to some people, we have students that work second and third shift jobs to help support their families.
I stopped by the Jehovah Jireh Haitian market on North Street and talked with the owner and asked him how many Haitian immigrants now call Logansport home.
I don't know exactly, but maybe more than 2,000.
Watkins moved to Logansport from Florida 4 years ago. He told me what brought him.
Tyson.
Watkins is talking about the Tyson meatpacking plant. He used to work there, but now owns this market. He started it because Logansport didn't have anything for the growing Haitian population. He says people are coming to earn a living.
Tyson, good money.
Yeah.
He made good money.
Yeah. Immigrants like Watkins can come to Logansport legally with certain employment authorization documents issued to temporary protected status individuals. I reached out to Tyson and submitted multiple questions, including how many migrant teenagers work for them third shift. They did not respond. Do you need help?
We do.
Logansport Mayor Martin told me his biggest issue right now is not knowing how many immigrants have come to his city. From the federal to state government, nobody can tell him. Do you even know?
We don't.
Migrant spiritual leaders told city leaders 5,000 Haitian immigrants have moved to Logansport, but the mayor says he has no way of verifying that number. but he knows it's significant.
Here's how we know it's changed is because of the 20 to 30% increase that we're seeing in a lot of our normal city services, with our traffic stops, with the hospital, with our school corporation.
He blames federal immigration policies for the burden.
The federal government has got to step in and they've got to start helping communities our size.
Mayor Martin's two biggest concerns are the strain on the hospital and housing. Logansport Memorial told us they are on pace for record births and more than 20,000 ER visits. 27% of their patients are also on Medicaid, and that puts a significant burden on OB care in Indiana. Immigrants and anyone else who can't pay sign up for presumptive Medicaid, apply for charity care, or a payment plan. The hospital recently asked the city council for $3 million to stabilize their operations, and it was granted. As for housing, the health department has been in homes where 20 to 25 people are living, and that's not safe.
That is
20 to 25 people are living. Mind-blowing. But you know what? You don't want to justify this going on, but relative from where they came, just sleeping with the roof over your head and Estados Unidos, that's a win for them. So this whole 20 to 25 doesn't bother the illegals coming in. Maybe they're illegals now, but the whole point is the federal government is just jamming these illegals into communities that don't have any more room. They don't have any more housing. They don't have the hospital capacity. And the federal government needs to step in, but they're not going to. They're just like, yeah, it's fine. You guys will work it out. And you know what? They're probably right. But who suffers? The existing taxpayer base in these communities. That's who suffers. Their children suffer. All the social services suffer. Schools, hospitals, the whole thing, right?
the big concern.
Mayor Martin said his team is working on a few new housing projects, but isn't ready to divulge the specifics. He says they need help now.
I will say that we have been in contact with Governor Holcomb and his office, and so we are finally getting to the next step.
Mayor Martin told me he considered issuing a state of emergency, but said that will wait for now. We also reached out to the governor's office multiple times, but he never responded. Now, again, a lot to get through right there. We have more on this story on fox59.com as well, including the official statement from Logansport Hospital. We're going to continue to follow this because, as you can see in that story, there's still a lot of questions and no answers. So a lot of people would not talk to us.
So they're thinking housing is at least more housing is one of the solutions, possibly?
Possibly because right now, like you heard, 20 to 25 people are living in one home.
Right.
That's not sustainable, but there's not housing for everyone. And again, the biggest issue right now, are there 2,000? Are there 5,000? Even the mayor said he can't get an answer to how many people are now living in his city.
It's kind of hard to establish what needs to be done when you don't have an accurate count.
No, that's it. You set budgets by the number of people. Your police force uses numbers to determine how many police officers you need. They don't have any idea.
It'd also be nice to get an answer from Tyson.
That's the big one too, because are people coming in to work here? And again, we're hearing that teenagers are working third shift at different places. Well, where are they working? And is that really healthy for them when they are going to school and also working?
Make sure you head on over to reasonabletv.com. We have got a ton of additional content there in our members only section. This is one of my favorites. Now, we couldn't talk about this on the other channels because, it would be considered, not appropriate. New York City Mayor Eric Adams calls migrants excellent swimmers. What was up with that? Check that out. You want to do that? Go ahead and hit the join us link on reasonabletv.com. You can do a 14-day trial. If you decide you like it, it's $3.99 a month, $3.99 less than the cost of a latte at Starbucks, right? Or even like a really big gulp at 7-Eleven, I think. $39.99 a year. And if you don't like it after 14 days, you can always cancel. Thanks in advance. Catch up soon. So we add Logansport to the long list of small towns that are no longer so small. They're expanding rapidly. You know what the message that you guys give me is, hey, check this town out. And a lot of times you'll say, along the lines of what we just talked about was, hey, there's only 200, 300 jobs. And, the federal government just keeps going down this road of, go to Logansport. You got Tyson there. Go to Logansport. You got Tyson there. But in reality, those jobs aren't really there. It was like a teaser, right? It's get you in the door, get to Logansport, because Chicago is overrun. New York City is overrun. Denver is overrun. All those major metropolitan centers are just toast. They don't have the capacity. So the federal government knows, we can jam it down Logansport. You know, they've got a broad spectrum of, you know, folks that have immigrated there from all over the world. What's a few more thousand? Now, is it 2,000? Is it 3,000 that have been added to Logansport? Is it 5,000? Is it as many as 11,000 in a community of, I don't remember what the community is, of 18,000 people? Logansport is a rural city 78 miles north of Indianapolis, known for its diverse urban population of 18,000 people. And you know what? I don't blame those kids for going there if they're working. But you gotta know what your numbers are, and the federal government has to know how many people they're placing. Otherwise, this is just, I mean, you know, how about urban planning? Do we just throw out urban planning? Hey, how many people is the sewer system in Logansport, Indiana set up for? Because if you're talking about multiple homes housing 20 to 25 people, your sewer system isn't on capacity for that. Your water system isn't on capacity for that. Taking in this massive influx, right? Because, and then if you don't even know how many it is, urban planning, you know what? Just send a few more thousand to Logansport. They'll deal with it. And that's literally what you've got going on. People from at least 28 countries call Logansport home, with 27 languages spoken. Man, that is diverse. I mean, I get it. All right. They got Tyson. You got the food packing, the meat packing plant, right? Meat packing plant. They need employees because locals ain't covering those jobs. They're hard jobs. Nobody American wants to work in a meat packing plant, right? Just those tough jobs. Everybody's like, nah, I don't think so. I think I'm just going to go online and become a, Amazon something reseller. Nobody wants to work the hard jobs. So I understand these folks coming in, they're adding to the local economy, but it's also got to be in a way that's done where you know how many folks are coming in. It's like Springfield, right? How many thousands of Haitians did you come in? How did that work out? Not all that great. And the thing is that it's the local folks, the tax-paying citizens, you're footing the bill for all this, and the illegals are coming in, and they're taking your handouts given to them by the federal government, not even your own local governments most of the time. The influx of new people coming to the city has some government officials speaking out, believing the current growth not sustainable. No, we know that, and we know that to be true. And yet, keep sending them, have them do their little one app, right? And you're going to get into the country. So strain on schools. Absolutely. And the number of children that are coming, adolescents that are coming, that are unaccompanied. Could you imagine flying from, Haiti to Nicaragua, going into Mexico? You imagine you're a 10, 11, 12-year-old girl. You're told to go with whomever. Hey, they're going to take care of you. Kinda, we think. We don't really know. Good luck out there, Junior. I mean, just absolutely insane. That tells you how hardcore things are in their home countries. And I do not blame them for coming to the United States, but it's got to be in a way that folks can be vetted. And it's got to be in a way that, local populations can assimilate these people in such a manner that things aren't just absolutely rocked. Your kids can have an education where all of the resources don't go into the kids who don't speak any English. Hey, go sit in school, go learn something, and you don't speak English. How's that going to go? If I went to a school in Haiti where they didn't speak English, if I went to a school in, Nicaragua, wherever, how would that work out for me? All right. I'm an adult, crash course on, whatever language it is. And okay, we'll get going. But a kid, in school trying to learn, talk about, just having information jammed down your throat. So yeah, they fly from Haiti to Nicaragua to Mexico and then to the state they are flying to in the U.S. Some have not seen their parents in 7 years. It's an eye opener. Where have they been? Where have they been? Where have they been hanging out for 7 years? And why? I don't understand that. And I keep hearing those numbers where these kids are just somewhere and then they finally make it into the U.S. That's just bizarre. Overall growth. I mean, these are the stories, but you're like, this doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? It's like, this doesn't make any, there's a plan here. What is it? What is it? They're all going to vote Democrat down the road? All right. Okay. We got to save the world. U.S. doesn't have the resources to save all the countries out there that need help, right? No can do. No can do. It's like Chicago got $1 billion deficit. They're going to cut a bunch of police from their, budget. Jobs that aren't there right now because they can't fill them. They're going to cut a bunch from the budget because they've funded the illegals. So, there's issues in Chicago that, look at their president of their school association. He's on the job for a week and gets fired. Just some crazy decisions being made there. Overall growth of the school enrollment jumped by nearly 150 kids in 3 years. And this is in a, population of 18,000. So you've got some huge numbers. 270 Haitian kids in Logansport schools, up from 14 in 2021. A massive, explosion. Big explosion. Just boom. I don't think our school system can sustain what we're doing right now. School district. Okay. Yeah. We're going to save everybody. Well, you can't. You can't. And all you're doing by saying that is bring it on. Bring it on. We can handle it. Bring it on. And at some point in time, that's exactly like Let's Go Brandon Johnson in Chicago. And Mike Johnson in Johnston in Denver. They were all rah, 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 sanctuary city. Oh, this is going to be the greatest thing ever. Kumbaya moment for all. Until they started looking at their budgets going, holy crap, our income has dropped by how much? And we got to still pay for all these illegals, house them, and feed them, healthcare, schools for them. Oh, budget is not looking good. Hey, can you guys go anywhere else? And that's literally what they did. New York City, same thing. Same thing. So here's an interesting comment. For example, a student who's 18 years old but has a 6th grade education cannot attend the traditional junior high school as an adult. I get it. I mean, it's just not physically possible. He's an adult and he's in there with he or she can now attend classes for 2 or 3 hours a day and then also work a full day at their employer. Man, that's a tough go. But you know what? I bet you those kids are so much happier doing what they're doing here in the United States. And I don't have an issue with them going hard on getting in and trying to make a go of it and working. You know what? Working a full day at their employer. I mean, after school, 2-3 hours of school. That's a tough go. But you know what? These kids, they want to make it go. But you've got to do it in a method, in a manner in which it's controlled. And this isn't controlled. Much of this is not controlled. I hear from you guys all the time that, hey, they're overloading our system. Take care of your own first and then go out and save the world, right? Getting a number in the Tyson plant. How is it that Tyson can't say how many jobs there are, how many jobs have been taken, what their employment situation looks like, teenagers working on there? I mean, how is that? What kind of PR is that? Yeah, I don't know. We got a lot of them working here, but we don't really know. Or they're not disclosing, right? Because, hey, 50% of your workforce is Haitian teenagers. Huh, that's interesting. You know what I mean? They're working, 10, 12-hour shifts and then going to school. Good on those kids for doing what they got to do to make it go. United States is built on immigration, but it's got to be done in a way where you can vet everybody. People can come in. You have time to take people on and, assimilate people in a way that makes sense. And what we're doing right now, it doesn't make any sense. And Logansport is just one more community where, They've just been overrun. Logansport Memorial, they're on pace for record births and more than 20,000 emergency room visits. 27% of their patients are on Medicaid. They don't have money to pay. So that's one of those components where I talk about you got to feed them, you got to house them, you got to put clothes on their back. You got to take care of them when they have babies, because you can't just say, you know what, there's a spot out there on the sidewalk for you. Good luck. Can't do that, right? You can't do that. That's just not what we're doing. So somebody's got to pay that bill. Somebody's got to pay that bill. So, Logansport Memorial does this jerry-rigging system of financing, like all these other hospitals that are doing it. They ask for Cass County Council for $3 million to stabilize operations. Where's that $3 million from Cass County Council come from? Local tax-paying residents. Now you might argue, yeah, but so many of them are, the teenagers working at Tyson. Okay, no. It's folks that have been in Logansport for, long time, and that's the tax base. They're paying taxes on their homes, real estate transfer tax. They're paying, taxes on their paychecks. They're spending money in the community. That's where the majority of the money comes from. So, there's only finite resources, and these are just some of the things that when you jam a huge population, lack of housing is another one. This is a big concern. 20 to 25, people. How many times are we going to see a news story where the house burns down because they're not used to cooking in United States settings? Okay. And you got way too many people and you got way too much stuff. Total hazard, right? You've got safety violations, but nobody is going after the safety violations because the federal government has shoved these people into these communities and just doesn't really worry about it. They're like, guys, work out fine. You guys will figure it out. You guys will sort it out. Meanwhile, you got the mayor saying, well, we've kind of got a solution for what are you going to do? You're just going to build a whole bunch of housing and then have it be low-income housing, have it be free housing. How's that all work? Right? Because the reason you got 20 or 25 people living in a house, because they're not able to work. You know what I mean? Otherwise, they'd be renting their own home. And fact of the matter is, there's just not housing for them, right? So it's a no-win deal. And you can't build housing fast enough for that kind of thing. Housing is, I've talked about this a million times. It's inelastic as far as the demand and supply curve. When you have massive demand for it, the time it takes to get, land developed and homes up and running, it's the huge lag. So you can't do it. So housing being another one. I mean, those are just some of your super basic components that Logansport, Indiana is really struggling with. So kind of put that one on your radar as, if you see stories there, additional things coming up, let me know. And, we'll go from there. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch up with you in the next one. Bye for now.